Sawasdee Cup. Hope you're doing well, guys. So in today's video, I'm going to be touching upon how I developed my abs and how you can develop your abs too. So when it comes to developing your abs, first things first, by the way, you usually hear a lot of people, ask, how do I get abs? How do I get abs? How do you get your abs? How do I get abs or whatever, right? Abs is not something you get, okay? It's something you develop. It's not something you go on Amazon and order and then it gets delivered to your house in 2 to 3 days or the next day if you're doing it, what's it called? Prime? Amazon Prime or something? Amazon Now, I think is what it's called, but whatever. Anyways, so the right analogy is how would one develop their abs, right? So first things first, I guess let's talk about my experience with my own abs, I guess. So the way I developed my abs is, and based on my genetics, it wasn't really, I guess, too hard for me to develop my abs because growing up, I was always pretty active and I was always exercising. Either I was playing football or I was doing just push-ups, squats, just because I wanted to look like a Dragon Ball Z character, So growing up, I was very active. So if you were active when you were growing up and you were always playing sports and you were athletic, then it'd be easier for you to develop your abs or see visible abs already, okay? So genetics has a big role to play with it. But as for me, my genetics weren't like off the roof or anything. I feel like I was like average. But the thing was, I was active. So I was able to develop a little visible abs, you know what I mean? But nothing too impressive though. But when I really developed my abs was when I started working out, right? Like anything. And keep in mind too, abs are like any other muscle groups. The more you work it, the more strong it becomes. The more you develop it, the more it is more visible and more, I guess, mature. Muscle maturity, I think is what you call it. So the more dense it'll look, the more frequent you work on it. And the more stronger you get it, the more pop out 3D look that you'll get from it, okay? So that's one thing. So the way I developed it is I had no idea what to do, right? Like anybody else, all I could think of was a bunch of sit-ups, a bunch of crunches, leg raises, planks, mountain climbers, twists, and I did all those exercises while trying to develop my abs, right? But there really isn't no like blueprint in terms of like what exercise to do to get abs. Any ab exercise that you do will work on your abs. Any ab exercise. So if you're doing leg raises, planks, whatever it may be that you choose, it will work on your abs, okay? Keep doing it. Now, in terms of how to build those abs, right? Because you want it well developed. Because I've seen a lot of, people just, lose a lot of weight but never have no visible abs even though they're skinny. So genetics also has a big role to play with it too. So depending on your genetics, you might have a, wait, okay, hold on, let me go back from the beginning. So everybody has a certain genetic when it comes to their abdominal, obliques, and abs, right? Some people may have 4-packs, 6-pack, or 8-packs depending on your genetics. There's no way that you can go from having a 4-pack to getting a 6-pack, you know what I mean? Like if you already have a 6-pack, you're not gonna develop an 8th-pack down below, okay? You have what you have and you can develop it in better terms, okay? So your genetics you already have a certain imprint of abs that you already have, whether that's 6, 4, whatever it is. Now it's up to you whether you want to make it more pop out like a 3D look, make it more bigger, make it more dense. Now that can be developed, okay? And that's what I mean by developing your abs. And like I said, any ab exercise develops your abs, okay? But if you really want your abs to be really developed and really popped out, like really hardcore, like an action figure, then I recommend using weights with your ab exercises and progressing on it like any other muscle groups, you know what I mean? But with weights also is going to come with thickening your waist also. So if you don't mind having a slightly thick waist but a hardcore 6-pack, then I recommend adding weights. But if you just want like keep your small waist and you want a nice 6-pack beach body type of look, then just stick to body weight exercises when it comes to your abs, okay? Like just plain old crunches, plain old sit-ups, leg raises, whatever it is you like to do, twists, you know what I mean? Butterfly crunches, I think that's what you call it. That thing where you bring your knees to your chest and you hug it and stuff like that. So, but yeah, all those ab exercises work, right? And that's basically how I developed my abs. Growing up, when I got into lifting, my abs weren't visible. I wanted them to be more visible, so I started working on abs more frequently. And the next thing is your diet. You will never, ever see your abs if your diet can never get on point, okay? That's the main key, first and foremost, okay? If your body fat percentage is at like what, I'll say like 20% or 18%, depending on how well developed your muscles are, which if you're like averagely muscly developed, then you probably won't see your abs. You know what I mean? You might see a line under certain lightings, but if that's the look you're going for, then hey, you know what I mean? And then your nutrition won't matter as much. But if you really want like good hardcore, not hardcore, but good solid abs, you should lower your body fat percentage to at least, I'd say, 15% to 12%. You know what I mean? That's where you get like good visible abs. If you want your abs to really pop out and you really want it to look like some Beachbody magazine fitness model type of guy, then 10% and lower, your abs will fucking pop out like a superhero abs. Abs of steel, baby. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's main key. Your body fat percentage has to be at a certain level, which means you can't be a fat ass. You have to watch your nutrition. Your diet is very important. And the second thing is building your abs, which is any ab exercises that you do that works on the core. You know what I mean? Fucking running even kind of works on your core because your core is holding you upright. You know what I mean? So, and if you don't even have to do ab exercise. If you lift weights, you can also just do compound movements that will develop your abs also. Okay, like deadlifts, bench, squat, overhead presses, and anything that requires more than one muscle group to develop your to do that movement is a compound movement. So that can develop your abs also. And yeah, that's really all there is to it. You know what I mean? Like at first I went hardcore on my ab exercises. Like I would try to do 100 sit-ups every day, crunches, butterflies, you name it, right? Bicycle crunches, but my abs weren't getting as developed as I wanted to. And then the more I got into the fitness game, the more I realized that it's gonna take time. So be patient and always stay consistent and always try to do better than you did last week in terms of whatever exercise you're doing. You know what I mean? So always try to get stronger, stay consistent, and compound movements help tremendously to build up your core, like squats, bench, deadlift. But you don't have to do those compound movements if you don't have access to them, and you don't need it to like build abs. Okay, you can also just build it plain old-fashioned body weight calisthenic exercises. But basically how I built my abs was just consistently training, cardio, keeping my body fat percentage low or at a certain level, and building my abs big enough to where they can be visible, building them more dense enough to where they can be visible even if I had 15 or like 16, 17% body fat percentage, okay? That's one thing too. You can also try to build a good quality chunk of muscle with just staying consistent and getting stronger, you know, increasing the weight or increasing the reps, and just keep getting stronger until you build your muscle good enough to where it will even pop out even when you're at a 20% body fat or 18% body fat, okay? That's called like good muscle maturity, you know what I mean? Think of this analogy. It's like, think of your muscles like a mountain, right? And there's water like a lake or a big ocean covering the mountain, right? And that's your body fat percentage. So the bigger the mountain is, the more it seeps through that water and the more you can see that mountain, which is your muscle. And the water is still at the same level. You know what I mean? So in that way, you can just keep trying to build muscle, and you don't have to go too hard on your diet, and just, you know, eat relatively good amount of protein, good amount of calories, and you can keep your body fat percentage at the same level, which if you're like at 25 or 30, you're probably not gonna see your abs, but if you keep it like at a good 18, 17, and you build a good quality chunk of muscle, your abs will still pop out and you will still look relatively lean and look like a Dragon Ball Z character. All right? So yeah, I hope I didn't rant on too much. I hope that made sense. and I hope that helps you get your abs. And yeah, and one more thing, don't start working out and have your end goal just be getting abs. That'd be a waste, and I don't think that'll like keep you consistent with like working out after you get them. You know what I mean? Like, don't chase the abs, let the abs come to you. You know what I mean? Like, work out for you, work out to feel better, work out to get stronger so you can feel better, work out for your health, work out for your family, work out to be strong enough to protect the people around you. You know what I mean? And the abs will come, I promise, guarantee. And I almost forgot. So how long will it take for you to develop your abs? How long will it take for you to actually see your abs? That also depends on your genetics, on how long you've been working out, and where you're starting at, okay? So I guess let's do it. How long will it take if you are a beginner and you don't have no visible abs, you don't have no muscle, you don't have anything, you're just starting from scratch, you're a blank piece of paper, right? I would say that would take at least, depending on your if you have the average genetics, I would say that would take at least a good year, or a good year and a half or 2 years for you to see your abs, okay? But don't be too overwhelmed, you know what I mean? If you do it consistently, like at least 2-3 times a week and stay active, you know what I mean? Like, the time will fly by and you will see your abs, okay? Now, if you have like good genetics, you know what I mean? That can take you probably like maybe half a year, or what do you call it? Even sooner, depending on how active you are. So, but generally on the average, if you're starting off with like nothing and you have no training experience, you're not active, then a good year, I would say, will be the right amount of time where you will actually start seeing your abs. But if you have good genetics, you can probably see it maybe like in like a couple of months. Shit, when I was a kid, I knew some kids that I used to play tag with already had a six-pack. You know what I mean? So it depends on genetics also. But don't let that hold you back, and don't let that discourage you. Because no matter what level your genetics are at, you can always still achieve a great body, no matter what genetics you have, okay? So don't let that be an excuse that you use, okay? Where there's a will, there's a way. And there's always a way, if you're willing to work for it. And hope this video wasn't rant. I feel like I was going all over the place. But yeah, okay. So thank you for watching. I hope that helps. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you.